And go.
Hey guys, this is DC fired points, meaning there's a battery which operate the points. I'm going to show you basically all you have to do to this system. We're going to check the spark on this. Now I can turn the motor over to check the spark, or I know that this is the left side cylinder. These points are closed right now. All I have to do is open these points and it should spark. All I'm doing is I'm acting as the cam. I'm opening the points, making spark because the system is charged by the battery, which you have a battery connected onto it. So it's a DC fired ignition system. On a DC fired ignition system, we can set the point timing in two different ways. First way, we could use a timing light. We can watch as we turn the motor over, we can see the power come and go on this. Right now we have no power on the points because it is shunted to ground. The points are closed. Now once I spin this past the F mark on the flywheel, past the F mark, see the F mark right here? Here's the indicator, there's your F mark. As I go past that mark, my light comes on. Bang. So I know that the points, I could set the ignition timing by watching the light turn on and off on the F mark, or I could set it up a different way. Different way meaning I'm going to isolate my points, which means I'm going to unplug my points, so I'm not going to get any false readings through the kill switch or any of the wires. And I'm going to set my buzz box up. I'm going to hook this onto the ground, this onto the lead, and when my points open, the noise will go away. These points need to be adjusted. They're off just a little tiny bit. They should be braking right there. They're braking on that mark right there. So we're going to set these points up. We're going to do a little bit of adjustment on these points to get them dialed right in perfectly. That was tight, which is good. So, right there. Ooh, check out the mark now. Look down here at the mark. We're on the F mark right now. That's it, we're right on the mark right there.
Nailed it.
Now I'm going to tighten these screws down and double check it just to make sure that I'm not going to change it. Let's double check it again. Right on that left fire mark, LF. That's left top dead center, left fire. Right on the mark now. That's perfect. Okay, what do you say, just for shits and giggles, we check the other side. We're here. Clip the wire on. And we're going to continue rotating this in the normal direction. Top forward, there's an arrow on the flywheel here showing what the direction of travel is right there. And we're going to continue traveling around.
If it doesn't have an arrow, how do you tell which direction it goes without kicking or moving the crank at all?
One way that we can tell which way the engine turns over. Did anyone remember which way that was? He's a way off. This set needs to be adjusted big time. This thing's gonna run like a clock.
Nailed it.
I'm going to call that sweet because it's fired right on the F mark. It turns on right on the F mark. Now we have to turn it the correct direction of travel because the point cam has it's got advancer weights on it, and if I'm going backwards with it, it might take up the slack on the spring. So I want to make sure that I'm going the right direction to push the points open the right way. Of course, I can double check and make sure that my points are functioning on the other side by making sure that I have spark at the coil. Of course, I won't have any spark until I plug everything back in again. There's no power going to these points right now. Remember, the end result is we need to create spark. So to double check and make sure that everything is working properly, I'm going to come to this side here, turn my key on. Looks like it's firing to me. That's my end result.
Actually, a big spark.
Right underneath there.
That's what it's grounding out.
I mean, even bigger spark than the one you're getting on the tip.
And I'm getting a little bit of spark here, which
Yep.
tells me you think of these
Condensers.
points may be dirty, or you may be getting time for condensers. And by the way, these two condensers are piggybacked right on top of the coil. These condensers look like they've been there for a long time. We may want to invest in a set of condensers for this. The points look pretty good. These points have been replaced when the condenser wasn't, for sure. So there's two condensers here. They're butt to butt in the holder. That's how they're manufactured. In fact, it's the same set of points that I have in the classroom. CB, SL, same exact points on these things. So we know for a fact that this ignition system works because we've proven it. I open and close the points, and we have spark on both sides. This ignition system is firing. We checked the timing. We checked it initially with the test light, and it was close. We put the buzz box on to dial them in. Now, I could use an automotive style timing light, but that'd mean I have to have this cover off while it's running. Lots of oil flying out. I'm not saying it can't be done. It can be done. It's just very messy. This bike holds about 2 quarts of oil. What you want to do is change your oil while you're doing this. You're going to dump the oil out, and you're going to put 1 quart of oil back in it so that there's oil in the engine. It may not be full, but it's not going to be splashing oil out the hole at you if you just put 1 quart back in it. That's a trick I learned for Betancourts. Old GL1000s, Honda Goldwing, the early 1000s, had 2 sets of points on them. And you had to set those up with a timing light and the door meter, excuse me. The door meter tells you how far open the points go. It sets the point gap. Where the timing light tells you where to set the backer plate to set the initial timing, okay? Now, in order for you to set those up, you had to have the cover off and it had to be running. So you were always getting splashed with oil. My boss told me this trick: dump the oil out, put 1 quart of oil back in it, and just don't rev the bike over 2,000 RPM. Just run the bike at lower RPMs, you'll never have an issue with it. It's not going to be run long. Remember, you should do this with a warm engine because you're changing the oil. So you can have a warm engine. So the engine's been started up and semi-dialed in. Now you're going to shut the engine off, drain the oil, change the filter, put 1 quart of oil back in, start it up and just let it idle, and then mess with your ignition timing. Move your backer plate or your dwell, whatever you got to do. Look through the timing light. Look through the hole with the timing light to find the timing marks. Can be very involved. You guys probably won't be doing many 1975, 6, 7 GL1000s. But keep that in mind. Drain the oil. Put a quart back in it. Run it with 1 quart, and you won't get splashed so much with oil. Just don't forget to refill it when you're done. So that's points. Static testing points, or static timing points with a buzz box. Static timing points with a test light. The only way to set timing would be with a timing light, which we're not going to do on this model. That's it.